want to hear that where is the gap. Okay. So like any one of you. Otherwise, I have to name. I don't like that, but yeah. What is copy constructor, guys? Like why we require this concept of copy constructor? Anyone? Sundar, you can tell me what is copy constructor according to you. I will explain the code. Code is very basic. Don't worry about that.
Actually, we use this to copy the another field of a class to this one.
No, no. Field of class. Yeah, yeah. You just complete. Then I will correct. Yeah. So go ahead. So we are copying the field of class to another, right? See, I am again telling
Yes.
you, class is nothing but what we have created. Class singly has no value. When I want to copy from one object of a same class to another object of the same class. So suppose I have created two objects. One object already created has some value, but I created a new object. Okay. Now I want to copy every content of that object to new object. Then we will copy constructor. Okay. Understood the difference? Yes, no?
Yes, sure.
Okay, great. Now you see the first code. If you see what we are trying to do here, that we have created a class. In class, what we have, very simple class. We have a variable called double xy, the two coordinate probably, and then we have a constructor called which is point, and we are initializing a default constructor value of 0 0, or we have parameterized constructor also given, in which we are giving some value to x and y. X and y are what? They're the member of our class. Now, at point of initialization of object initialization, as I told you, constructor is a first method to be called. So when I created point, what is the point? Point is nothing here. If you see, point is nothing but a, a, a class, right, which we have created. Now we have created an object called q, and we have sent passed two parameter, 1 and 2, and then that's it. So what will happen as soon as object will be created, it will be invoking this parameterized constructor and will put the value of x and y, which is 1 and 2 respectively, right? So once it is done, now what I want, I don't want to, I could do again, I have to initialize another object. So that is very simple example. But suppose you have a very big object, many data fields and everything, and I just want to copy from there. So I can just write point, which is a class, and r, which is object of that class, and equal to q. Okay, equal to q means you want to transfer whatever q have to object called r. Now, how it is going to happen? It is going to happen as soon as it knows that, okay, I want to copy from that. There is a copy constructor, which is default copy constructor. It looks like the same which we have written. Okay. It is the part of your class. Compiler knows that, okay, I want to copy that. The compiler will create its own copy constructor, will invoke copy constructor, and will copy all the data from one object to another object. So in first example, which I'm currently discussing, it is telling that we don't have to, we don't require to do any other changes, right? It is by default is going to happen. Yes. Do you understood that, right? I hope you understood. So we don't have to do anything about that, right? It is already happening. Okay. So this you can write the code. So I can do one more thing. I can just share my, I can just write the codes itself. Let me reshare my screen. And you can do customize also. Customization means like what do you mean of customization? That I can write my own version of it. So why it is required? There are many times what we have to do is that we have to copy constructor. We have to call this concept called copy constructor, because I want to copy my data, right? So let me just share my screen once, guys. I hope you're able to see this, right? Guys, are you able to see when I'm switching the screen? Okay. Yes, right? Yes, no? Are you able to see the screen
Yes.
in which
Yes, sure.
I'm, yeah, okay, great. So when I talk about copy constructor, okay, so let me write a code here, right? So I wrote class, say suppose point, same example I'm taking, I'm not writing anything different, okay? So what I'll do is that I have created its public access specifier. You know already about this. So say suppose I write X and Y, I will differ a bit. Now I have what I say, constructors. In one, I will just say, okay, uh, s-
Shweta, I think you need to switch to C++ etc.
yeah, yeah, that I will choose. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm just writing in slides in it, okay, variable, right? And then probably I say x equal to 0 here and y equal to 0, right? And here I'm just printing these variables, right? And then, okay. So this is I am doing at time of default, constructor getting called. Now at second point, what I want is I want to have parameterized constructor. So wherein I can pass some value to this, right? I can pass value. So for example, I'll say A and B, okay? And I'm going to write A and B respectively, right? So I said uh, init variable x and y with parameter. Okay. Now see. So what I did is let me remove this. So I think it is already taken as a C plus C. So C will not have these kind of things, right? Okay. So now let me create an object out of it. One say, okay. And if I don't pass anything, right? Let's run it first. So it says that x and y value has been initialized by 0. I did not pass anything, right? So then also it actually, uh, initialize the values by values 0 by 0. So say for example, suppose I have to have pass some parameter. Okay, what can I do? I have to pass parameter here, right? So say for example, I say 3 and 4, and then I suppose run it. The value become 3 and 4. Yes, I pass 3 and 4 as a parameter value, right? You see x and y could be 3 and 4. Yes. So what I have to do now, if I'm doing this, and I suppose want to do something like I want to copy another object. I want to create another object. Okay. So I said, okay, this, okay. If I do this, it will again invoke one constructor. Yes. So again, it called this second object created called the another constructor. But what are the ways if suppose I want to have, I can just, I want to copy whatever object one he have. I don't know about that, right? I want to copy it. So if I want to do that, I have to just at the point of initialization, this object is getting initialized, right? Getting created. If you copy this, okay, what will happen in background? There is a default constructor getting called. Okay, default constructor getting called, which is not visible to you. Which is not visible to you means just the our compiler, our system, actually let's say our compiler, because that is the responsibility of that. So it is actually understood that I want to copy one object to another object. So it is going to create the piece of code, and it is going to invoke that. Okay. just to how to prove that okay